Okay, here we are.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Let me get this off here. Hello. Okay. Good evening. We should be live and on YouTube. Welcome, everyone. Great to have you here. Please always let us know who's here. We love to know where you are. I'm Rebekah, CEO of Source Elements. I am in the Netherlands right now, and we're also. And Robert, where are you?
Chicago in the cold. How cold is it
How's
for you there?
0 minus 1 Celsius? So what's that? 30s.
30. Yeah.
It's
What do we
nothing for
got today?
Chicago. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's warm today. It's a balmy 36.
Oh gosh, it's pleasant. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Great. Posy, nice to see you here. Hello, everyone. Hi. All right. So this is our fourth webinar about Source Connect, and today, really excited. We have lots and lots of people been asking us, totally dedicated to the talent experience, and this is what it's all about today. So all of your questions, if you're a voice actor, if you've used Source Connect, if you haven't used Source Connect, if you don't know what Source Connect is, here today to answer that, and all, of course, about Source Connect 4, and which is the main product that we make here in Source Elements. So I'm sure most of you here are familiar with Source Connect. For those of you who are not, in case, Robert, what does Source Connect do?
Source Connect provides very high quality audio connections over the web for talent of all type, often voiceover talent to connect to recording studios for being recorded in real time as if they're there in person, provides a guaranteed recording through some unique features it has called the auto restore and auto replace feature. Other tricks, transport locking, and other things that kind of get a little bit more beyond this particular webinar that deal with review and approval for, mixing film and whatnot. But for talent, it's a way of talent connecting into studios for doing voiceover recording, ADR dubbing, all types of things like that. Recording musicians.
Great. I also just was told that our title of this today is erroneously in YouTube, unfortunately, got copied from the last one, Remote Transport Sync, but this is about talent. That's unfortunate. We'll change that title after the live stream has stopped. So, so Source Connect, as Robert says, it's the premium remote recording solution with those unique features of the high quality connections that do not time stretch, and recordings are guaranteed to be free of any internet dropouts, all the way back to that audio capture, data capture at the source input with the restore replace feature, right? We also have with Source Connect 4, built-in conferencing or multi-connect at the moment, up to 6 people with discrete real-time outputs. And what that means is that, say, Robert might be the sound engineer, and if we're here on Source Connect with 3 or 4 actors, he can record us all separately into the Pro Tools or whatever DAW he's using, and would all be completely discrete. That's very useful. And it's got integrated operations with the DAW. So we're going to take a look now at Source Connect. Let's bring it up here. Where's the overlay? All right, so here's Source Connect 4. And we're just going to look around and see some of the differences here. So I'm just going to log out and just log out here. Let me come back in here. We've got good old Source Connect 3 here. We can do a comparison of the size actually while we're here. I'll log in, but you can see it's not too much bigger, but I'll log in and you'll see some other methods here. Yeah. So one of the main differences is, and we're very happy about this, is that you don't need an iLok or iLok account or iLok license or USB iLok or any kind of iLok to log in to this. It is completely account based. On your dashboard, you will see if you have a license to your account. It's all done by your dashboard. So I'm going to click here I'm going to log in. And here we go. I'm on the Talent version. And Robert's version looks a bit different. His is a darker grey. This is a silver steel grey that's specific for Talent. And if we start, where should we start? On the mute
I don't know,
button,
you want to
maybe.
just, well, yeah, or just maybe start with the side by side. I assume some people are
Yeah.
somewhat familiar with.
I can make this a bit smaller. So this is one of the things to show you too. We can make this smaller. I can make this smaller here. So here we go. Now I've got that sort of side by side more.
Yeah. So we used to have the audio options menu in Source Connect. Everything was dropped down from there, and you could have your input, mono or stereo, your sample rate, your buffers, your quality setting, and your input and output. Those are the main things on that audio options menu, which is now all from that settings cogwheel, kind of near the same place, upper right corner of the software. But I don't know if you go back. Yep, there you go.
So here.
And so similar options. Get your input, your output. Rebecca, if you want to kind of click through it.
Input with my output right now. MIDI, if you feel like playing some remote MIDI, this will send the MIDI notes to and from, so you could do an instrument jam, for example. We've got the buffer here, which is how high or low the internet is. So if you've got super fast internet and you connect to someone else super fast, hey, put it down ultra low, and you just have low latency. I tend to use mine at auto. So one of the upgrades with Source Connect 4 is auto mode is much lower as well. Your auto buffer is going to be lower, you'll notice, latency wise, than Source Connect 3. And if you do find, this is really important, we'll be putting more work into this in the future as well, that if you're connecting long distance, like for example Australia to Czech Republic, sometimes the internet can be a little bit difficult. This source stream will force it to a relay. What that means is that we're, instead of going what we call peer-to-peer, which is saying here's one part of the world and here's another part of the world, and to send packet data on the internet, you have to sort of jump across the world to get there, and the other person has to jump across the world to get back. We can't control that route. But with Source Stream, we actually do control it a little better. What happens is you sort of jump onto our special network, and it has less hops to get to, less jumps. And so it's a little bit more stable. And maybe it's something that we're going to be working on in the future a lot too, there's combos of stabilities. So it's a good thing to know about. So send normal. If I'm going to send mono or stereo, I'm on mono right now. And this is new. We have best now. We didn't have this in Source Connect Standard 3. We now have best. It was low, medium, high, which was 48, 64, 96, and now 160. That's going to make a lot of engineers happy. So that's great. Oh, and you didn't have this either. Last one, auto login.
Yep. And there's one very big one. Standard/talent can now send replace.
Les, that is probably the most exciting thing, I think, here. So here with the queue manager with Source Connect Standard, you could only send restore sessions.
Right.
Whereas here we've upgraded this.
So now, and what that means is that they can get the audio directly off your converter as if you were there in the studio with them. There is no, for example, you could connect to them with the worst quality, with low quality, and then when they replace it, it's up to the quality directly off your microphone. So in a sense, the send quality doesn't matter as much if they're properly using restore and replace on the record side.
Just a note too, I'm seeing questions come in. We're just going to do a quick run through with Source Connect, and then we'll get to your questions. Really important, and this is why we're doing this today. We want to hear your questions. So before we go into doing a restore and replace, should we do a comparison how Source Connect 3 and 4 would work? Just some sort of how connection might work?
Yeah, so here is, I will throw a connection to you at Source Connect 3 or via Source Connect 3, which looks like, where are you? There
So
you
here's
are.
another thing. I'm logged in as Kimbra, but we didn't have that information in 3, whereas here in 4, you can see who I am.
Right.
It'll say here your username and who you're logged in with. Super helpful.
So here's a connection on 3. You should have that momentarily. Boop. And then you say yes. Okay. And then it takes it a moment, and it will negotiate that connection.
Open. Great.
Here we are.
So that's easy. Now,
hello.
Let's have a look at 4. Let's look at the contacts. Things are a bit different here. So I can see Martin, and I can also check his info here. So we send him an email. If he had his phone number here, I'd see that too. So this is a really helpful way to get the user's profile. And yeah, let's wait for Martin to send me a connection request.
Here's a connection on 4.
And we'll show you the difference of what it looks like. So here you see I see Martin's face, which helps to know who's connecting to me. And I see that he wants an auto restore, auto replace session. And I'm hearing the doo-doo, a familiar Source Connect beeps, but a little bit more advanced. And I'm just going to accept this. And so what happens now is that the connection is starting to establish. And in this, I don't have the, do I have it? Let's look at the logs here. Yep, so I have turned on Source Stream. We see here, full Source Stream. So can we reconnect again? Because I just want to show the peer-to-peer mode.
Sure.
Now I'm going to ask if we can reconnect. Hang on, I logged out there. Let's log back in.
I'm waiting for you to show up.
Okay, and I have Source Stream off. Great.
Okay.
So we're going to reconnect, and we're going to see that I'll be connected the other way.
Which the logs are alone are a very big thing.
Oh yeah, the logs are crazy helpful, right? It says you started a connection here, you started a call, came in, and then you received a call, and now you're on peer-to-peer. So here's the difference what I was showing you before. Before I was on Source Stream, a little bit more latency, but very stable, and now I'm on peer-to-peer. And the reason we can be on peer-to-peer is because we've got this cool restore replace thing going on. Robert, shall I put the screen share over to you, and you can see what an engineer does?
Yeah, I'll drop Source Connect 3 there, and here we are on Source Connect 4. I'm recording you into my session, which if I go ahead and hit record, you can tell me, I don't know, what you had for breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast because I don't, but I did have a very nice cup of green tea that a friend of mine brought me from Japan recently, and it was delicious.
Yep. So there's that, and of course that worked perfectly.
I don't eat breakfast because I don't, but I did have a very nice cup of green tea that a friend of mine brought me from Japan recently.
So that was great, but how about, I don't know, Rebecca, can you turn on the bad internet machine where it makes...
Oh, no. Yeah, how about I swap to, like, maybe I'm on a mobile phone connection, or everyone's on the network right now in the office, or some other things happening, and you're going to start hearing some probably packet loss right now, I think. And so while I didn't have breakfast, I did have lunch. So I live in the Netherlands. We have very, very good bread here, bread and cheese. It's not a bad life.
Okay. There. Okay, so now we can see here that in here, there's a bunch of dropouts there. And now if we go over to Source Connect, we have to do this before it actually fixes it. So over here in our new connection...
Make your screen a bit bigger for Source Connect so we can see the whole.
Yeah, we might have to do this again. By the time I get this done, it's going to fix it on us.
Just click on the square at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. And where's my current connection? Over here.
Weird thing you're seeing on the left. We're just working on that right now.
Yeah, it's restoring right now, if you see that. And then keep your eye. Oh, look at that.
Missed it. It's too fast.
Yep, it fixed it right there. All those dropouts are gone. So now, even though that was chattery before.
And so while I didn't have breakfast, I did have lunch. Since I live in the Netherlands.
I say we do that again, just so everyone can catch that, because that is.
Yeah, it's a hard one to see. So maybe I just make some monosyllabic
Yeah, the
usherings.
long. I don't think you have the packet loss.
Oh, damn it. I was going to hold that for a record.
Yeah.
Let's try it again.
Yeah, rolling. Okay.
Oh yeah, look at all that packet loss in there.
One chopped up.
Can you play it back quickly? Awful.
But if we go over here and we just wait a moment, because it's going to pop in here automatically, and then it's going to fix it.
Yeah, so right now the file system is checking for new files. So it's about every 10 seconds. Yeah, so click on that.
It's restoring right now.
Yeah, you can see how many packets got lost. Can you click on the...
Yeah, over here at the top.
Yeah.
There's a lot. The details of it.
119 lost pieces of data there.
But keep your eye on this waveform here. Let's see here.
It should be done.
Hold on. Is it done? One moment.
It's fixed.
It fixed.
Maybe just my.
Yeah. It should. It did before. I don't know why that particular one didn't, but we can go over here and we can click on this and we can say recalculate the waveform. And there you go.
Yeah.
That normally happens automatically. It did.
But either way, at least the playback's good, which is what we care about.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think we're done.
Yeah, there you go.
This is Source Connect 4. It is the power of it. Can you bring up Source Connect 4? Because we're still looking at Source Connect 3, which is still a very, very good piece of software. And we'll get to some of the questions shortly, just once we go over it. So some of the other important things is that I'll just go back to my screen so we can see the talent version again. So you can see here also, while Robert was doing that, or maybe just while I'm talking, Robert, you can do another recording and we can see how it looks like on the talent side. And so this is the connection that I'm on. You can see here's two that we did earlier. And just while I'm talking, I'll just turn on some, a little bit of, you'll hear me a bit choppy probably for a moment. I'll turn that off now and we'll just watch. So in the background now, Robert has recorded a file like we showed before. And what I'm looking for is up here, we have this bar here, so this restore and replace activity. And as soon as this has come up, we're going to start seeing that some activity happens. And here we go. How's it looking, Robert?
There it is.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yep.
There, so I see that restore. And we see up here, we've got this indicator, and it's doing its thing. And it's restored. That's all I need to know. The rest of it, the engineer is going to play it back, check everything is okay. I think the next step is to say, this is the take, right? Was that the good take?
Yeah, so then I'll say, okay, all of that was good. That last take was the only one that we really need. So I'll go ahead and take that take. And I'm going to go over here and select replace.
Hang on. Wait.
Oh, I already did it.
Oh, you did it already. Okay. Well, you see he's got... I'll go back to mine. Yeah, damn it. It take too long.
I can do another one. File. Yeah, here's another one. So I'll replace this take.
Yeah. So you can see how quick that is. It's just transferring files like from my side as if Robert had flown all the way to the Netherlands, which I do recommend. It's a great place. And come to my studio. And I've got here a Rode microphone. I'm not a professional voice actor, so I don't have a professional voice actor microphone. This is a very good one, but I mean, you can probably hear I've got reverb and stuff in here. But if I had like the perfect recording space, which most of you do, it is as if Robert had come here as an engineer and recorded in my space. It's just magic. It's pretty special. So we're really proud of this.
So you get the best of sort of real-time interaction, real-time recording, with the guarantee and the the workflow of file based. It's like the perfect blend of those two.
Absolutely. And just turning my mic down a little bit. Lauren, thank you so much for that notice. I hope that it's not so hot. I have I'm not a sound engineer or talent person. I'm a software developer. So, when it comes to microphone levels, it's just, yeah. Okay.
Rebekah, maybe you want to show them how to manage their cache and also how to download a audio file of that. If for some reason this whole session, imagine I didn't record one take, or in the middle of something, I didn't record something for some odd reason, but you still have it on your side.
Okay, great. So let me just reconnect there and get that connection off. So here I have the connection of what we were just having. And what I can do is I can actually export this. So I click on that button. It's going to bring up a window. Let me go to here. Where is it? And here. Export. All right, so we can see here that when I export the file, it's a WAV file. It's a broadcast level WAV file. And so I'm going to save that. And that means that now in my folder, once that's done, I'm going to have a WAV file that I can send to Robert. Let's bring up that file here.
If I asked for it, but because I said
here it is.
One thing you said in the middle that I wasn't recording, that was the perfect take, and I didn't record it.
Yeah.
So that's one way that you can get it to me.
Really
and also maybe you don't even need a backup recorder at this point if they're using the queue system, because it basically triggers you to record a backup.
This is what I like, is that you don't need to back yourself up. You don't need to have a backup recording. Source Connect just did this for you. And so we hope, as time comes, and as we build more functionality into the interface, that you'll be able to see this also as your recording application when you're doing remote recording. It's not going to replace your editor, whatever you're using for editing. It's not for that. You'll probably, if you do want to do any editing afterwards, send that to your engineer, or you could put it into Audacity or whatever you're using. Twisted Wave. So we're no replacement for that, but it's certainly, is a really great backup source. And then once the session's done, I know this one was done as a test, I can just delete it. And the reason I might want to do that is because before I do it, you'll see here, I'm caching all of this data the whole time I'm connected. You'll see this, we've been connected for a while. I haven't deleted this cache for a little bit. So I've got 600 megabytes that I have stored in Source Connect. If this number, which is now 36% of my disk space, goes down, I think it's 15 or 10, I have to check on that. It will give you a warning when you log in. I think it's 10%. So don't worry, we're not going to let you, use up all your disk space without telling you. And also we've got more features coming in the future. But at the moment, I'm just going to delete these, and we should see that that should go down.
Right. So to be clear, once she deletes those, I cannot do any replacements or any restorations.
Yeah, so that previous file. So once I delete this, then that connection that we were just on, that Robert has a recording of in Pro Tools, it's done. You can't do anything else on it. But so was there anything else? Couple of things that I think are important. We've still got the chat here. So hey, you still have those. Oh, we're not connected. Huh.
I'll throw a connection at you.
Yeah. While we're doing that, this notices panel, we're going to be putting notices here specifically for you about updates, information, support information, things that you might need. So now we're connected. I can say, hey, hello.
Yep. So over here.
Yeah.
Hi.
And again, this is very rudimentary at this time, but we are going to be adding more functionality into the messaging. Watch the space. It's going to be very, very cool stuff coming here. Yep. The connections, we can see here that it's a blue outline, and that means that when Martin, who is Robert, asked me to connect, he said in the connection, in the Pro version, you have an option here to say, I want restore and replace on that connection. And so when I accepted it, it had that option. I can see here too, these icons are lit up. I can mute him. And if I was connected to more people, like maybe I could connect to Echo right now, just to see what happens. We can mute everybody. I can change the volume up and down. Oh, look at that. Now I'm connected to 2 people. I know I can mute them all. Or I can just mute one. I can change the volume of one. And if I want to change my microphone input, well, maybe I'll just change this one just to see what happens. Takes a moment and you'll see. And there we go. Now I've changed my input for them as well. Some great stuff here.
Easily be on a conference cord if you're working with more than one actor on the piece in real time together. And it's, I mean, maybe a little bit more on the pro side, or the facility and studio side is much easier than it was before, where we copies of what we setting mix minor. So all that for you and not transparent, I think. So one other thing, a little bit still
logging out too soon,
relative to the talent. If the talent, if using a DAW or whatever to support their client, while they're connected, able to provide. But it's sort of a little bit more advanced on the talent side, but still a thing. Normally, the first thing you do is every DAW cut up an aux track. In Pro Tools, it's called aux track.
Just a note, Robert, I think when I connected Echo, your bandwidth might have gone a little bit. Can you make sure Source Connect is disconnected for you?
Go. Okay.
That's better. Great. Awesome. All right, I've got an aux track.
So you can, first thing you can do is you can put the Source Connect link plugin on there.
And here we go.
And there it is. And then you can, well, right now, I don't know if you have Source Connect, but you can go over to Source Connect and you can select a link as the input and the output. Now it's at the bottom of the menu.
Look at that. Now it's my input and output. Source Connect.
Great. So
and
now
if this is VST, if I was in Adobe or, actually Adobe won't do this.
Adobe Audition won't let you record the clients. That's a limitation. Adobe has what we call waterfall recording, where it can't route to itself. You'll see that happen in a moment. Most DAWs do allow this. Adobe Audition just doesn't. It has a little bit more simplistic routing to it. You can do playback from Audition, but you can't record your clients into Audition.
Right. So we're showing Pro Tools here is one of the industry standard for recording.
But Pro Tools and Reaper and Logic,
Reaper's great. Logic,
all of these are capable of doing
GarageBand.
I don't recommend it. GarageBand, can you record from? No, I don't think GarageBand you can record your clients in GarageBand. It does not have the ability to recapture its audio.
I think we.
I wouldn't use GarageBand anyways. It's got a number of limitations. But that does remind me of one thing. For restore and replace now, as the talent, you do not have to worry about your sample rate. Previously, for restore and replace to work, you had to be at the same sample rate as your clients. And now we handle that sample rate conversion, if it does exist, in the restore replace process as well.
Hey, Robert, just getting a note that before, when your network was cutting out a bit, it wasn't quite clear how to set this up. So I'm just going to do it again, just very quickly. What I did was make a new mono aux track. Aux input, and went to put on the Source Connect plugin here. Easy.
And that's another great thing. She took the plugin away and put it back, but now Source Connect's going to remember that, and she doesn't have to relink.
That's also nice. And I could rename it. I could say, Rebekah Best plugin, and I can go here, and here it is. Now I've got it named, which is super handy. So if you get lost with things, naming is helpful.
So now the question is, what do we want to do with this connection that or this link into the DAW that we have? So you can let's create two tracks, one for the clients and one for you. So two audio tracks.
Aux input. Sorry, input.
Oh, yeah, you have no audio input?
Oh, I know why. Because I did not change with my Pro Tools again. Very easy fix.
Your playback engine.
Playback engine should be the aux that I set up aggregate device, which is an audio MIDI setup. Here, let me show what I've done. I've got lots of them. This one here, Pro Tools aggregate device. That's the one I want. Okay, let's do that.
So normally this would just be your normal input and output for your DAW, be it your Apollo hardware or your Scarlett. Typically is a very common interface. So that would just be selected there.
Okay, good. All right, there we go.
So now Pro Tools is going to relaunch.
I got a mission. Yes, 1 second. Here we go. It's relaunching. Come back up. In a moment. Here it comes. All right, and I should have now the IO.
New. Yep. Do you have an input? No input.
Why is that?
Why don't you just
it didn't keep it. Oh, come on, Pro Tools. You could do that. I'll just use it aux just to,
Yeah, I was gonna say just switch it to Nexus or whatever.
Let's have another look. No, it doesn't like it. Oh well.
Just
yeah. I'll just
for now, just put out like Nexus A or something, just as an example.
Okay. I'm just putting another plug in here. It's not to make anybody get confused, but this one here will now I can get my input from my microphone. There we go. All right. So.
Okay. So basically, you can create two audio tracks, one for you, one for your clients.
Track. Yeah. Audio track. Okay.
And then you can, if you click on the output of the aux track, you can select track as a destination. So on the aux track that has the plugin on it, drop the output menu and then go down to track and pick one of those tracks.
Okay.
Perfect. So that's going to record your clients now.
Okay.
And then the other track, you can select the output for that one and select the aux track as the input. And that'll feed your mic, because that track will have your mic as the input. That'll feed your mic over to Source Connect. Or
I don't have
the output. The output.
Oh gosh, sorry.
Yep. Go to the other track. Yep.
Aux.
Yes, the aux, exactly.
Okay.
And there you go. And that with those two tracks, you'd be recording yourself and your client, and anything that you play back on your track will go to the client again in case they ask you for a playback.
Great. So that's pretty helpful. And then when I play that back. So just a very, very advanced thing that most of you may not need to know. If you do need to know it, you've probably done some training. Just wanted to quickly show you that yes, Source Connect 4 does integrate with your DAW. So I think the core question here, and we're going to start getting to some of the questions shortly, is what do I need to know, like core, as a voice talent to use Source Connect 4? Like what's that? Let's go to that question here.
If you want to call out the questions, we can answer them.
This is the first question. So I'm just seeing on here, picked it up. I'm going to go back on the list now. Otherwise, if I'm a voice talent, voice actor, I'm not recording other people. People are recording me. What do I need?
Say that again. I was distracted reading some of these things here.
Yes.
Sorry.
All right. If I am a voice actor, I'm not. You're very talented people, and I'm not one of those people with my voice having talents like you do. And I need to do remote recording. What do I need? What is the core requirements that I have as a voice actor regarding Source Connect 4?
You just need what used to be called the standard version, and now we're calling the talent version of Source Connect. That's all you need.
Yeah, and I want to make, that's what we should make clear, is that it's actually a lot simpler than maybe we're putting across. Forget Pro Tools, forget Audacity, forget everything else, forget your iLock. What you need is a Source Connect account, which you can get on the dashboard. Let me show you that.
You need a microphone, you need headphones, a computer. Maybe that goes without saying.
So what you will have is your Source Connect account here. I'm going to log in as it's not, one moment. Here we go. And we'll see that.
Yeah. No, you can use Adobe Audition all you want. To be clear, Adobe Audition just does not have the capability to let you record what's coming in from Source Connect or any external application. It's a limitation of Adobe Audition. You might not need to record your clients. So don't think that you can't use Adobe Audition, and don't think that Source Connect is not compatible with Adobe Audition. It is just limitations that Adobe Audition has because of the way Adobe Audition is.
Yeah. So what do you need for Source Connect? You need this. You're here on your products and downloads page. We're on the licenses tab. And here I have a license for Source Connect Talent. It's a trial license right now. Could be a subscription, could be a yearly. We'll go into that in a little bit. And I can see when it was made. I can see when it expired. So as long as I have this here, then I can log into Source Connect. If I do not have this, you cannot log into Source Connect. So there's probably a few of those big questions now we can jump into from the top. Adam Gold says, when does the official update for Source Connect 4 go live? I'm going to answer that since I'm the head of engineering here. As soon as we can. Some weeks. It is some weeks away. However, we're about to release a new beta in a couple of weeks. And so anybody who already has Source Connect, if you have any license of Source Connect 3.8, you have a license of 3.9, you can actually go here. You'll see this beta page. It'll say you can access the Source Connect 4 beta. So go here. All of you who've already got Source Connect, go to products and downloads, go to beta, and you'll see here you can get a license for talent, which is one of these you're going to choose, and get the free trial. So here I can get one for Windows. And then here it is. And I can download that when you request the trial. And then, I've already had one, but then it will give me the link and I can go back here and download it. And that's really great. All of these downloads are the same. Well, Mac and Windows. You have one for Mac, you have one for Windows. You don't need a different one for your license because we've made them all the same. It depends on whether you log in or not. So the question was, Adam, when is the official update for Source Connect go live for talent? As soon as we can. We're working very hard in the next weeks to get this out. In the meantime, if you have a license for Source Connect, you can try the beta. And we'll be sending out an email in another couple of weeks with an update. All right. Robert, here's one for you from Bailey Hopkins. If we have a Source Connect 3 account, does our license transfer?
It depends on your support status and your support history. So if you purchased your Source Connect 3 license in the last 6 months, then your 6 months of support will carry over and you will have Source Connect 4 for the remainder of your support, after which, as a legacy user, you will be able to continue using Source Connect 4 for the legacy rate of $105 a year. And that's the rate for everybody. It's the same as the support. So no change in the pricing there. It's just the same support. You just need to have your support up to date to be able to use Source Connect 4. Some important notes, however, really important. Source Connect 3 does not connect to Source Connect 4. So In the transition, we don't know, maybe it takes a year or so. Someone books you on a call, on a session, and they're not clear with you whether they're using Source Connect 3 or Source Connect 4. Everyone who has Source Connect 3 will have everyone who has Source Connect 4 will have a Source Connect 3 license. My suggestion is just to launch and log into both of them and see which one your client connects to you on. And then over time, you will notice that Source Connect 3 will just sort of filter away and you won't need to log into both and wait.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can also call your client or email them and say, what will we be using, 3 or 4? And hopefully they tell you. But they are separate, different versions. They do not connect with each other. And that's what we really want to be clear with. We will be providing bridges in case someone, for some reason, cannot. We foresee the possibility of maybe an operating system just completely knocking Source Connect 3 out. And in that case, we also will have bridges available in case, say, your client is on 4, your client's still on 3 for some reason and you're on 4, but you can't use 3 because your operating system is very, very new. So far, that has not happened, but we are prepared for that to be a possibility. So we'll have bridges. You can run the 2 at the same time.
Yeah, I've got Source Connect 3 connected to Echo, and where is it? It should be on 4 as well. There we go. No, I've got 4 connected to Echo. So I'm on them both at the same time, completely separately. They're very, very happy. So just have them both, you can have them just sort of wrapped up in a small box.
The bridges are not available yet.
No, working on the bridges.
Yeah, they're not available yet.
All right, so next question is, I have Source Connect 3.9 license version for about not much over 1 year. This is from Andrew. Can I keep using Source Connect 3.9?
You can keep on using Source Connect 3.9. Like if you have a license for 3.9, that doesn't change. And so 3.9 will continue to work as long as 3.9 it continues to work. It'll just take its natural course. Someone else asked, I think, what about lifetime accounts? We never use the word lifetime. And so the Source Connect 4 and Source Connect 3, Source Connect 3 always had a support requirement, or it was never properly enforced. Source Connect 4 requires that you have support or network access. It's one and the same thing. For the legacy users who purchased Source Connect 3.9 license and upgraded, that cost is $105. It's the same cost as the support. And going forward, for purchases of what the buy-in license after that cost will likely be higher than what any of the legacy users pay. So you will lock in a long-term rate that is the lowest possible for access and support.
Yeah. So what Robert's saying is, if you have a license already, Source Connect 3.8 or 3.9 license, you're going to get a loyalty rate upgrade. If you don't have a license right now, now's a good time to get one.
Yep.
We have another question from Earl Fisher. Any problems working with a VPN? It depends on the VPN. If the VPN has access to the public internet, unlike Source Connect Pro, which could work completely offline, Source Connect 4 does not yet have that ability. So it depends on the VPN. And then the next question again, Robert, good question for you from Dorian. For us subscribers, what do we need to do to change up to Source Connect 4 once it's released?
Download the application and log in.
That's it. You don't need to do anything. We're doing all the hard work for you. And here's some questions from Yvonne. How much is it going to cost to upgrade from Source Connect 3.8?
So for talent, for 3.8. So 3.8 depends a little bit on when you got your 3.8 license. Worst case scenario, you have to upgrade from 3.8 to 3.9, and then you can jump across to 4.0. Many 3.8 users will be eligible for a complimentary 3.9 upgrade. You can contact us. Certainly, if you've bought 3.8 many 3.8 users already are going to have a 3.8/3.9 license. So you really have 3.9 in that case. But if for some reason you have a license that says 3.8 only and you bought it in the last few years, the pandemic onward, and or so, you're going to be eligible for a free upgrade to 3.9. From 3.9, the upgrade it depends. If you have maintained your support since the purchase of the license, then you really don't have to pay anything to upgrade. You just have to maintain your support like you always have, and you will not have anything to pay because you've been on support and there's no gaps in your support. However, if there are gaps in your support, then the support can be backdated at the rate of $10 per missing month. And if there are more than 9 months, then the backstop is basically $89, making the most expensive upgrade $194, which would cover your year going forward and the back support backwards. So a little bit depends on your support status, and if you had uninterrupted support and you maintain uninterrupted support, there really is no cost, actually.
A very, very good point is it sounds really complicated, but it's not going to be for you because we're going to email you exactly what you need to know. We know exactly, as a user, we have your email address, we have your status, we know what you've purchased. You're going to get a personal email that will explain all this to you. So that's super easy. Another good question from Tony, will short-term licenses be available for Source Connect 4?
Yep, 2-day licenses, same. Those prices are not set to change or anything, so
Yep.
the 2-day licenses are still there.
And another good technical question from Susan. The internet speed requirements, and are they different in Source Connect 4? Not at all. Actually, it's very similar. It's the same codec, so it uses the same way to make the data smaller to go on the internet. So it'll work. You just find it probably less latency, maybe, but yeah, you shouldn't experience any difference there. And Robert, here's another good one for you from Lydia. What should we do with our iLock accounts?
Keep them going until Source Connect 3 withers away. And then at that point, if you have no other iLock-based software, you could just forget your iLock account if you want at that point. Yeah.
Another good one, license related from Paloma. Are there any chance to be able to use it on 2 computers? For example, I've got a desktop at home and a laptop when I travel.
Yeah, you'll get 2 locations. So if you're not using an iLock and you're just using the account-based license, you'll get 2 places where you can place that software onto. So you can do a desktop and a travel computer.
Yeah, you won't notice it all. Great question from Claude. Can you work with video, for example, ADR and dubbing in other languages?
Yes. At the very moment, the remote transport sync feature is still the overdub/ADR mode is not quite in 4. So that would be the mode that a lot of talent would use, where they would provide you a video and they would control that video playback. We expect that to be in a short release after the first release of 4 for the overdub RTS mode to be put in there. But of course, you can use the RTS feature, which stands for Remote Transport Sync, and therefore you can work with video along with your clients for all types of purpose, like ADR and dubbing and whatnot. So that feature is definitely in there, but we'll need a moment to get fully updated.
Yeah. Claude, some great stuff coming. Really, really great. Rosalind says, when and how do we start with Source Connect 4? So that's the same question as Adam asked a bit earlier about when does Source Connect 4 go live. We are working on it. So in the next coming weeks, you'll get an email on that. And another question, the cost to upgrade. Again, it depends on you. You'll get an email, but the basic price is if you're on 3.9 or you bought 3.8 after 2016, it's $89.
From 3.8 to 3.9 is $89. Yes.
No, from 3.9, or if you have a new recent 3.8. Like
Yes.
when you
89.
bought your
Yeah.
3.8, it was after we released 3.9. And
Yeah. So it's right. So to go to 4, it's the 89 update and then the 105 forward for the support. And by the way, I should be in sync now because before I was routed through Pro Tools. Bop, 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 bop. Maybe I'm back in sync. I put my mic straight into the
camera
streamer.
quality is a little bit down from the internet on your connection, but yeah, it's fine. So then, yeah, so it's again about the upgrade. I wanted to mention that we have not changed our pricing since a long time. And I just like to mention that this is not, we haven't put prices up. The $89 price upgrade has been the same like that for a long time. And, so
yeah, that goes back to 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When the first upgrade from 2.5 to 3, I think.
So, we're a part of the community and we just like to keep that going. And so it's important to acknowledge that. Another question from Earl. So he says, am I understanding correctly that we use a DAW that is built into the Source Connect talent and not record to our own DAW?
You don't have to use a DAW. You can use a DAW. It's completely up to you. If your clients are using restore and replace, then you will have a recording of that session that you can download. But that said, I don't think you will ever hear us say, don't make a backup recording. So you can continue to use a DAW or Audacity or Audition or I don't know, Twisted Wave or whatever you use to make a backup recording. You can continue to do that. Source Connect operates completely independently of the DAW. And then if you choose, you can use the plugin to integrate the DAW into there for advanced features like being able to play back to the connection and whatnot. But you don't have to use a DAW. But no, not Source Connect does not have a DAW built into it. It has some the ability to capture the audio. And that does relate to another question, which is someone asked, how long will the stored audio be available?
Yes, good next question.
Until you delete it is the answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Like I showed before, you have to manually delete that. So we leave that completely up to you. We do recommend deleting it at some point, but it's optional.
Yeah. Wave stream. It's like Nexus but less. And they could have spent their time making something original.
Now that's on record. Okay. We had a lot of chats here about, here's another one. So Posey Brewer, clients wanting to join in who don't have anything or any understanding of tech. Is there a simple document to send them on how to connect through Source Connect 4? Certainly, that's something that we're working on, is a really, really easy documentation. It's just as easy as downloading any other app now because there's no iLog, because the account is just there. If they've got that license, and we have things coming like, client licenses that you could be a host and you can send them a link and it will open Source Connect to the right place. All of this is stuff that we can do now that we couldn't do with version 3. So that's certainly, we also understand that if you want to use Source Connect with your clients, you need to make it really, really, really easy for them. And absolutely. And just there from Bruce, iOS, absolutely. It's coming. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's I don't have a date for that, but it's one of the big things that I really wanted to work on again. And Robert, another one for you from Claire. We can still use our own DAW.
Yeah, completely independent. Like you can, whatever DAW you're using, Source Connect will run alongside of it. I guess maybe to add a little bit of additional info to that, sometimes on Windows, particularly in Windows, the operating system will sometimes fight with two applications trying to use the same audio hardware at the same time. That really has nothing to do with Source Connect or the DAW. It's more to do with the audio device and the driver that the audio device provides. But for most well set up devices, the be it Windows or Macintosh, two applications can access the same device at the same time, and they operate independently. So you can use your DAW and connect on Source Connect, and it will be they just you can use it as you normally use it as a backup recorder, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, think of it like that, as a recorder. Yeah. And here's another one about licensing. So Venus, you're asking when your license will transfer. When we release Source Connect 4, your license will just automatically work for that. If you have a subscription license, if you have a product license, like a regular, not a subscription, you'll need to pay for that upgrade and start the network access subscription, which is $105 US a year. And so, yeah, Joel Herberly, great to see you here too. Will Source Connect Standard continue to work? Really good question.
Mm-hmm. It'll take its natural course. So it's been working for many years, and we don't see so far. There's nothing in Mac. We there's a small screen glitch, I think, in later Mac OS versions where it says high quality for all the menu options, but that really hasn't affected operation. So if you know the placement of those menu options, you can just sort of work around that one. We are not updating or making any changes to Source Connect Standard, so don't know when, don't know if, really. But if one day Mac OS Mount Everest or whatever version they have does something that prevents Source Connect Standard from working, then that will really just prevent you from using it on that particular OS. But there's no, it'll just take its natural course. We're not making any fixes or updates to it. But
so Joel, you also said that you have the lifetime Source Connect. We just want to be clear that never in our marketing or sales or emails to you, we never said lifetime. It's really important that software can't be lifetime. It would be great if it could. You imagine if Mac puts out one version of Mac OS and Windows is always like the same Windows. Like we're still on Windows 7 and we're still on Mac OS like 12 or something, and nobody ever changes it. Then you could maybe have a lifetime license. But as Robert was saying, we're forced by the industry. Apple Silicon, we had to work really hard to get support for Apple Silicon. We're going to have to work really hard to get iOS. We just can't do lifetime software because there's constant work. Things always breaking because Apple makes an update, Windows makes an update, you buy new hardware, Apollo puts out a new device we have to support. It's ongoing. If you want to come into our office one day and look at all of the support tickets we have for all the bugs from changes that did not exist a year ago, I think you'd be pretty impressed with how busy it is to keep a software company running. So we love this industry. We love working with you. And so we hope that our commitment to bringing, this new software is clear.
Yep.
And the requirements that we both have on each side of that. Just going back to a question from Daryl.
It's like Source Connect requires, especially now with Source Connect 4, even more so, a worldwide network of servers. There's a lot to support in real time. It's not software that works in a vacuum in your computer without the internet. So yes, there is a $105 yearly fee to use Source Connect 4. That is required. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's clear now. Joel, you just mentioned you pay the $105 yearly, so you get free upgrades with that. You're going to get all the free Source Connect 4 stuff that comes up. That's all for you. So that's great. I'm glad that was better communicated, and thank you for clarifying that. That helps a lot. Different question here from Amanda, which is very good too. Do I need to take another certification course for Source Connect 4?
I think there's just an update to that, right? Isn't there a yearly?
It's a brand new course.
Okay. Yeah,
I believe it's included.
Yeah.
I think we're going to offer it. We haven't fully thought, but my preference, maybe I'll just override Robert's preferences right now by saying it out loud in public. We should give the Source Connect 4 Source Connect 4 certification for everyone who already has a 3 certification, because we want you to be educated. We want you to learn how to use it.
I think with the certifications, there's like a yearly recert or maintenance of it. I believe I forget.
There's like a certification,
and I think it's a small part of that. Yep.
Yeah. So Earl, no. If you're doing the $35 a month, that's the monthly subscription. You're all covered as well. The $105 is if you have a Source Connect 3.9 license.
Yeah, like a buy-in license.
The buy-in license is what Robert calls it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So if you have a buy-in license already, Michael Stein, you also had this question. If you have that, would you use perpetual or lifetime? These are words that we don't use, but buy-in is giving you the ability to use Source Connect for the long future at a much lower buy-in, and that will give you the upgrade to Source Connect 4. And Andrew, you also asked if studios can use 3.9 and 4.0 at the same time.
Can studios use 3.9 and 4.0 at the same time? Yeah.
They run.
Same thing. They run simultaneously.
Yeah, I think I showed that before.
Someone asked if they need a static IP. You didn't really need a static IP for Source Connect 3 either. What you needed was a public IP address. Many internet service providers do not provide a direct access to the public internet. They kind of put you through what the industry sometimes calls a walled garden, or a CG NAT, carrier grade NAT. And so in those cases, it was not possible to get port forwarding, and then you would have to go ask your ISP for a static IP address, because they really had no other way of giving you direct public access without a static IP. But as long as you have as long as your router is directly connected to the public internet, then you didn't need a static IP address, and Source Connect 3 worked fine. And even more so with Source Connect 4, because port forwarding is not really required anymore with Source Connect 4. And so you probably, even if you're behind a CG NAT, behind one of these walled gardens, Source Connect 4 just probably won't care at all.
Yeah, also. Yeah. And Earl, just to come back again to you about the pricing, what is the difference between what I pay for Source Connect 3 now and what I need to pay for Source Connect 4 Talent? There's no difference. The price is the same that we have now, except the difference being that the support fee that we had asked for before is now mandatory. So that is not a price increase, just a different way of looking at it.
It's just required. Yeah. We like before, we're not sophisticated enough to put it in there programmatically, and unfortunately a lot of people just didn't do it. And they would, so we had to make that happen.
Robert, just a note, can you start and stop your camera, because it went out of sync quite a lot.
Really do
just while Robert's doing that. Monica Wolfkill, what a great name, Monica. Will my account fee stay the same you pay for monthly for Source Connect, and you have for over a year? Absolutely. Again, the cost is the same. Also for Bailey Hopkins, for folks who don't pay currently for support but have a what you call perpetual license, do you have monetary assistance for this upgrade? Absolutely. It's only $89. So, you don't have to buy Source Connect again. It's just an upgrade, $89, and then the $105 going forward in the year. So
someone asked about a variable IP. Your internet service provider can change your public IP address all day long. Not during a connection, hopefully, but besides that, as long as they don't change it, they don't change it that much. Usually, even people with a variable IP or a dynamic IP address, they tend to be what the industry calls sticky, which means they probably don't change it even for years once they get you connected to the internet. But no, we don't need a static IP. You can be on a variable IP as long as you have a connection to the internet, ideally directly to the public internet. You are set.
This is one of the great things about Source Connect 4. You can travel. You can get on a plane. It does work on a plane, by the way. I have tried it, but it's very noisy. mobile connections, you can get it on your mobile phone anywhere you are, that the connection's good enough. It's about the quality of the connection. If you are in a very strict network, like if you go into a military building or the government or, maybe Microsoft head office, they're probably going to have very strict networks that say, no, you cannot. But the people who work there have very good technical support so that they can get that access. So.
Yeah, they might, in an extremely strict network, and this would be the same with any service provider, like say Zoom or somebody else. If they're going to lock it down to only do very basic stuff on the internet, and they might need to get a list of IP addresses from us where our servers are so that they can whitelist those IP addresses. That would be in a very extreme situation on a very, very secure network. For the most part, it's just going to work. I don't think there's too many networks that are going to, especially for outbound, the inbound connection. Because Rebekah, it comes through, like when it's using SourceStream, does it come through on 80? Like, does it look like other web traffic?
No, 443. Nothing
443.
uses 80 anymore.
Okay, sorry.
It looks like other web traffic.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But it still has. If we get too technical, I think people might get not happy. But we've had that a bit before. But suffice to say, it works without port forwarding. This is what you guys want to know.
Right.
Works without port forwarding. Yeah. Erin Maureen has a question. How do you know what our current license is?
Let's see. If you go to your dashboard, you would know if you have a subscription on your dashboard, right? You would see that. If you go to the store, you could see that in the store. If not, you would want to, if you go and log into your dashboard, you would see your iLock account. And then you can specifically log into your iLock account and see what type of license that is. Also, it would basically be a trial or a full license or a subscription license. Those would be the three types of licenses you would see there.
And also good old ask support if you're not sure.
Send an email.
Yep. And Paul also has a question about using Ethernet versus Wi-Fi. Please use Ethernet when you can, but if you can't, Wi-Fi will work. Ethernet's just going to give you a much better stable connection.
Yeah.
And Yvonne asks, is the 105 maintenance or network fee, as we call it, is the only annual fee we need to keep paying? Yes. If you have a buy-in license for Source Connect 4, which you can get either by purchasing for $650 or upgrading your 3.8 or 3.9 license, then it's 105 years going forward. We also have some very good stuff coming that's going to be included with that. So very excited about things to come.
You don't need a DAW. Someone asked here, Ron, do you need a multi-track DAW in order to enjoy the features, or will Twisted Wave work? As a talent, you don't need a DAW. You might not even technically need Twisted Wave. You can use Twisted Wave as a backup recorder, but again, they're completely independent. You will have all the features of Source Connect if you have a DAW or you don't have a DAW. If your DAW is multi-track or Twisted Wave, they're separate.
Going actually back to certification, I love this bouncing back through all these topics. Posey, you're asking, can you get the logo as well as you have before when you're certified? Yes, we are keeping that. Maybe should I show Find a Source?
Yeah.
Let's go back here. So I'm logged in. So here we have the Find a Source, and look, I can actually just see everyone who's certified. So that's super quick. Didn't take long. So I could search for, say, United Kingdom, and maybe go to London. And then we see here, everyone here. It's going to scroll till it stops. And so certification is still there. You can see you've got the certified badge here. So hopefully that helps. Oh, I was not screen sharing the whole time.
I didn't
see come
that.
on. All right, let's do this again. All right, screen sharing. I'm going to find a source. All right. And I'm going to show certified users. And we can see here that they've got the certified badge, and here a little certified. And and then you could find, by country, if you say wanted to find everyone certified in the United Kingdom, then you've got this big list here that you can find. Hope that helps on that certified question. And we're getting through these questions. This is great. Oh, here's another good one from Ethan. Ethan says, do you offer anything like a practice session for Source Connect for newer users that would be really useful for someone like myself?
I mean, for the first time onboarding, part of support, we help people install the software, show them how to use it, run a connection, make sure everything is good. That's usually part of the first time purchase onboarding of the software. We're very support intensive. If you need help, you're welcome to book a support session, and we'll give you a hand and answer your questions. That said, often people will say, I have a session coming up and I want to test my connection. And we have a limited amount of support. So the support's not there to test connections. That's what the echoes are there for. You can connect to Echo. You will hear yourself come back to you. How you hear yourself coming back is how you will sound to the client. So that's the best way to test that connection, because the support is not so on demand, and it's and we do want to keep it available for people that have.
Let me just show again how easy the echo is. I mean, look, here I am just logging in. I go see that it's echoed online. Doesn't matter which I choose, really, just for a test. And then it's waiting for it to be busy, and then once it's connected, it takes a couple of seconds, it will go up to the top. Let me just open this a bit bigger. Here we go. Now I see I'm connected, and I'm getting it back into my headphones. So check, 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 hearing myself. So it works really great. Yeah. Joel, so nice of you to say that our Source Connect support is the best.
Thank you.
We talk all the time. I think every day it comes up, like, this is just what we do. We're a support company more than a software company. We're like software that comes with support. So
it's a service. Yeah, we
so
do,
support
we do
that
see
comes
ourselves
with
as a service.
Yeah,
we're providing a service
absolutely.
here.
I just think, honestly, maybe just, boasting a little bit of how great our life is. We get to talk to you guys every day and hear your stories and help, and we all feel good and you feel good, and we just feel good all day. I'll just be honest. And when those occasions come up that things aren't working, because it can sometimes, maybe Robert, I'm sure you've got stories of when things don't work. We don't give up. I don't believe I cannot think of one case in 20 years where we gave up on someone. I don't think this happens. We make it work.
Yeah. I think there was someone asked if they have 3.8, can they keep using it? Of course, they can keep using 3.8. Yep.
Yep, absolutely. And Source Connect Talent is device specific. You get 2 devices. What if I need to change one? You'll get on your dashboard. We don't have this on the dashboard right now, but you'll be able to remove one of the devices. We'll say, here's the devices on your account, and you can remove one and use another one. So it was super easy.
There will be some limitations on that, but you can always just call us, and we'll free up anything that's gummed up.
Yep. And Amanda, you also have a certification question. If you have not purchased software, but are certified, not sure that's possible.
Well, here it says, is certification something only buying license holders can go for? No, you can buy certification.
Why?
I think that certification. Yeah, it's a good question. I think you can. Yeah, as a.
Because if you want to get the 2-day license, or on demand, of course.
I don't think you can, as a 2-day license holder. I don't think you can be certified. I think it requires a full license. But we can check into that.
Yeah. I I think we came to the end of the questions. Oh, nice. That's great. I hope that we helped. If anyone's got anything, we'll wait a few more minutes. But of course, you can go back. This recording will stay on YouTube, so you can go back and use it, go back and listen. We're going to be emailing everybody a lot more information to come on how to upgrade, how to, tips and tricks, how to use everything. And, we'll always be happy to hear how Source Connect customer support is the bomb. That's always nice. And so let's just consider this another conversation we're having of many to come, and get in touch if we can help.
And use Ethernet if you have it.
Yeah.
It's the last minute question in there.
Yep. It would be great. Well, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.